What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are starting our day here in the storage. I am here to pick up a short block and a cylinder head. Supposed to do it yesterday, but instead, you guys should have seen the last video. We made a half downpipe for the giveaway CRX. I couldn't have done more because I needed more material, but most importantly, I needed a transfer case to know where the downpipe is going to go. So we'll continue on the giveaway CRX hot side piping once we get the transfer case and the material in to continue working and fabricating the rest of the parts. They just paved the floor, all brand new, and it is hot. My goodness. It's been a year and I still haven't gotten a light bulb for that sucker. So hopefully you guys can see me a little bit here. So we are here to pick up a GSR short block, which is this one right here. I got this from the junkyard. I threw a cylinder head on it before I brought it here a year ago. Did the compression test. It looked good. And while I was in the junkyard, I did pull the pan off to make sure there was no spun bearings whatsoever. So that's a good GSR short block that's just kind of been stashed away for, you know, when we need a new project for another build. So I'm here to pick up that short block, and this right here is my old B20 VTEC, which still ran. It just smoked a little bit because I neglected to run a catch can on this when it was boosted in the all-wheel drive. This is literally my first setup in the all-wheel drive car, B20, and then I went B20 VTEC, and then I pulled it apart, and it's just been sitting here since. So it's been about a year and a half that I've touched this motor, or actually no, it's been 2 years, and this thing has been sitting here. So the block needs rings. The cylinder head is cherry. So this is a P72 GSR head that I'm going to be mating with that short block. Again, we'll talk more about that, where it's going, when we get back to the pad. But I need to move all this stuff out of the way. I got to come back and get these wheels right here because we have a track day coming up soon. And again, move all the stuff out of the way, get those engines out, get that loaded up, and tear that apart. This motor ran perfect in the all-wheel drive car, despite the smoke a little bit. It wasn't bad, but you know, it was definitely smoking. The only reason why this motor came out is because Synergy had finished my built sleeve GSR, so I swapped it out, put the built motor in here, made 450 plus, and then my sleeves on my block actually shifted, which then caused it to blow head gasket, seep combustion into the cooling system, and the car would run hot all the time. So that block, that sleeve block, is just sitting right here. Another expensive coffee table. This one right here, CSS, got, well, actually this is the black, no, this is the silver CSS. This one had a melted piston, scored up the cylinder walls. And then this one is also a CSS, which had a crack in the front that I attempted to repair without welding knowledge and made it worse. So got 3 blocks that probably gonna turn into a coffee table 20 years from now when I buy a house, or I don't know. I'm trying to remember what was wrong with this head, right? And I wasn't sure if it was this one or the other head that's no longer with me. If this was the one that has the broken valve guide. And apparently it is the one, if you look, broken all the way to the top. This one, broken all the way to the top. Definitely salvageable, but this is going to require some money, and I need these dowel pins as well. But I was looking at this block and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna keep this block for a later project, right? And I'm looking at the cylinder walls. It looks all good and everything. I said it earlier, it looks good. And then I realized this has a crack on it. I don't know if you can see it, but that's a nice crack right there all the way down. Well, at least that's junk, and I don't have to worry about trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that block. Another expensive table. Let's get home. Huh. Almost forgot. Intake manifold. All right, guys. So back home. Well, I got home like an hour ago, but got the short block, the cylinder head, the cams, all the cam caps, and ARPs and stuff. Intake manifold already just kind of on the dolly, ready to be worked on. Now I do want to put the cylinder head on the block before cleaning it, although it is kind of clean. Before I threw it in storage, I did wash the block and all that, but the intake manifold I got after. I want to clean it all together one more time to make it nice and, you know, spiffy. But before I can do that, I gotta go get some gaskets. As far as I can see, head gasket, obviously, intake manifold gasket, maybe throttle body gasket. I'm gonna have to check my bag to see if I have one. I do have a JE Pro Seal right here, 81.5, but I think I'm gonna keep this for the built block when I pull the head off of it. We don't have extended studs, so I can't run thermal gaskets, so I'm not gonna do that. So another Velcro intake manifold gasket will do the job. It looks like I'm gonna need a throttle body, which it looks like I have one right there. Let's see. Before I take off, I want to make sure I have all the stuff that I need. Rear main seal. I'm gonna go ahead and check this box right here. So this right here came off my Ellis block a while ago. This kit right here has about 1,500 miles on it. I didn't drive on it much before the piston decided it wanted to go, but it has an MPW pump. The pump looks better than the one that came out of the Flipper X CRX, which I'll show you guys again right now. This is a GSR water pump I got from Rock Auto. This right here is the GSR pump from the Gates kit that I threw on my Ellis block, and you can see the fin is a lot bigger than this fin right here, right? And then you can see the gap between the propeller to the body. This one is much more gapped, so I think this was chopping the coolant instead of moving coolant. This should do the job because I didn't have an issue with this before. This right here is a Koyo made in Japan tensioner, and obviously the Gates timing belt. So we're going to be using that three right there for this engine. We have this is the 2.2. This is for the giveaway car. We have rear main seal, so we're going to be using that. And I do have a new oil pan gasket for when we bung the oil pan, which is right here. So we got a new oil pan gasket, and this right here is the valve cover gasket for VTEC model. Those are usually the seals that I change out. We do have, is this front main seal? Yeah, this is a front main seal right here for the oil pump. Here's another oil pan gasket right there. I believe there's some, another rear main seal. There are some cam seals in here somewhere. I'll dig through this when I need it. But right now, the main gasket that I need is the head gasket. So I'm gonna head to the store, pick up some gaskets. We'll be back, and we'll start assembling the cylinder head on the block. I was trying to find the keys for this car for like 30 minutes. Can't seem to find my keys. I don't even drive the car, and the keys are gone. All the other ones are here. All the other cars I don't drive, but the key for the KRX is gone. I need my parts. I've been trying to find that little surfacer that cleans surfaces of blocks and cylinder heads, but I don't know the correct terminology for it, so I can't seem to search it up. If you guys watch Taylor Ray, he used it on his LS swap for the truck. Attaches to your drill, cleans up the surface before mating the two together. If anybody knows what that is, leave a comment down below. So this head was again on a B20 VTEC. Normally on the LSV and B20V, you have to plug up the oil gallery, which is this one right here, because the head is not from the obviously non-VTEC block. So this hole actually lays over on an LS or B20 block right here, and if you don't plug it up, a quarter of that little hole is going to seep oil out onto the block from the head. So you have to block this off, and then you run your VTEC oil line right here through this hole, which is not there. And that means, because we're putting it back on the VTEC block, this plug needs to come out, because this is where its oil source is going to be coming from. And hopefully it's not too tightened on there. I think it's Teflon, not RTV. So let's get a socket for that. Easy peasy. Now I just got to clean up that hole. So I just hit up Nomis Industries to try to understand which point on the cylinder head is the service limits as far as resurfacing the head goes. Now originally I thought it was this dimple right here, 1 and 2, that once you touch this, it's surface limits, but it's actually not this. The quickest indication is this little square right there, this square right here, and there's 2 same squares on the block as well too. So we have about maybe a millimeter before the surface touched that little square. So this head could be decked a couple more times if needed be, but the correct way is to check deck height. So from the flatness of the surface, oh, I forgot all the washers. Anyways, from the flatness of the surface here to the flatness of the surface here, to know how tall the deck of the cylinder head is, to know the surface limits of that. But because this as a quick indicator shows that we're not touching it, we should be fine. Normally when you get down to this point right here, then you start having like valve to piston clearance issues, but in this case, not a problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the head gasket all copper sprayed up. Picked this up last night, as well as intake manifold gasket, and then we'll get this head on that block. Make sure your surface is clean. Make sure your head gasket is pointing up. And mine, crap. Mine says up right there. I drove it down so that way the head is compressed between the head gasket before all the oil from here gets down there and in between the gasket and cause the head gasket to prematurely blow. So I'm gonna torque this down 3 sequence, 25, 55, and 80. I'm gonna do 82, and I'm gonna go ahead and just get right to that, guys, and get all the cams and cam caps reinstalled. '82, and I'm gonna check the center ones again. All right. Crap, forgot the intake manifold. Gotta clean this real quick. Buddy, you can't just come here dine and dash every damn day, man. This is a new cat that's been coming around for a couple of weeks now. Came from the mobile home over there. And he meows all day and night. Anyways, I'm about to get down with the water pump, the timing belt, tensioner. Excuse me. Anyways, it looks like somebody had done this water pump before, and you know, if Lucy comes here, you're in deep shit, my dude. Anyways, looks like somebody did the water pump before, and the oil pump actually has black RTV on here. So I don't know if that was changed before, but again, this was a junkyard This was a junkyard short block. When I got there, it was just a short block. The transmission and the cylinder head was gone, but I did it, like I said, I did compression tests on this before. I popped the pan off in the junkyard, make sure there's no spun bearings and stuff like that. Compression was good, and then I stored it in the storage for about a year now. So I am going to change the water pump, timing belt, tensioner, and all that stuff right now, just to get it out of the way. Again, get it timed, and then I think I'm going to do the valve lash. And after the valve lash, we're not going to put a valve cover, gasket, and stuff on it, because this is not the valve cover we're using. But I want to do the valve lash and all that, put the valve cover just to keep stuff from going inside, and then we'll work towards the intake manifold and all of the accessories that we have lying around to toss in the engine and make it more complete, and the flywheel too. Hey, buddy. Oh, damn. This thing's got rust in here. Now I'm using a Velcro gasket because these studs aren't long enough to run a thermal with the thickness of the flange. It won't give me enough threads on the studs to secure the intake manifold. So this will work perfectly fine. Got 4 bolts and 6 nuts. Intake manifold, nice and clean. You can see barely like 4 or 5 threads coming out All right, guys, so not sure where I left off. Not sure where we left off, but I think we did intake manifold, bolted to the cylinder head, and I took off this black box in the back, little breather, and cleaned it all out because it was gunk. Cleaned all of the gunk that was back here as well too, nice and clean. And I think I'm going to be running a catch cam, but I don't have a block off for right now. I think I'm going to take care of all of this when we boost it. So I'm going to leave all this stuff right now stock, because we're going to be running it all motor first. So the thing is, I took off the water pipe because you guys saw it was super rusty right here. Rusted, dude, pretty bad. And all this has been taken off before because it has black RTV there on this side. On the box it was gunked up with black RTV, not too sure why, but I'm not going to clean that. I was going to, but this bin right here has literally all of the guts from the GSR and the ITR that blew up in my cousin's car. So I have all the stuff that I kept around because you never know when you're gonna need it, right? So water pipe, I have 2 of them in here with really good O-rings. You can tell because they are not smushed compared to this one, all smushed. So I got some water pipe. I got this, what is this? This is a LS water neck that painted black. This came off my CSS motor. I got a couple more water pipes, ITR guts, girdles, internals. Looks like I'm gonna have to reuse this one right here. I have to clean all that gunk out of there. I'm gonna use this water pipe with this O-ring on it because this water pipe doesn't have the extra barb for the oil cooler, which you can see on this one. It has an extra port for the oil cooler, so I'm not going to be using that. I'm going to be using this one with the good O-ring, and I'm just going to go ahead and just reuse these same hoses and pop off this sucker right here. Look at all that gasket on it. Punched holes. Here's the old one. This definitely sunk with the Titanic. It is about 8:30 right now, and we've done all we can for this GSR engine. Check it out. We picked this up yesterday, short block, cylinder head, everything was in pieces, and now it is a long block, almost ready to go. New head gasket, new main seal. We got water pump tie-in belt tensioner swapped out with a low mileage one. New seals in the cams. We got the valve train installed. We got new intake manifold gasket. We have an alternator on here. New water pipe that's not rusted. We have a thermostat with punched holes because, you know what I'm saying, boosted setup is going to need that flow. We got the blocks intake manifold on here and a flywheel. So a lot of these other little things, I got to scavenge around for them, find them, pull them off other engines, storage, you know, junkyards, whatever. Small stuff though, not a big deal. Everything else is going to be attached to the other engine that we're going to be pulling out, so we can swap all the parts on then. But as far as the long block goes, this is as far as I can get. Now you guys are probably wondering, I didn't talk about what this engine is for, but I did mention it in another video that I have to get rid of the all-wheel drive car. Not have to, just liquidating. That's why I was trying to push the Flip RX out as quickly as I was. That car was sold literally 23 hours. Thank you, Matt, once again. But I want to liquidate cars, and I come to a conclusion that I don't really drive the all-wheel drive car. I already have another CRX. I don't need two. So I figured I'm gonna sell that car, but I'm taking all of my belongings out of it. My built block, built head, my whole entire built engine is going to come out of it. My turbo kit is going to come out of it, because the turbo manifold is not mine. Thank you guys for letting me borrow all of these years, and I want to return it back to them. So engine, all the stuff that I'm taking out is going to get replaced. Bugs. All the stuff that I'm taking out is going to get replaced. All the suspension components I'm taking out is going to be replaced, but I'm not going to cheap out on the next owner and put some jank stuff in it. I am going to replace everything with quality stuff. A lot of these stuff, it's not sentimental value, it's just stuff that I bought brand new that I've had for a while. I'm not the type of person to keep changing my stuff like I change my underwear. So I'm one of those that will love to keep the stuff that I bought brand new to use for a later project. But everything that I'm taking out of the car is going to be replaced with some decent stuff. So the built engine's coming out. I am putting a complete stock GSR back in. Hopefully compression is going to turn out great. I know it did before. The head was rebuilt before I went onto the B20 VTEC, and everything in there is, you know, fresh as well too. I forgot, I literally just remember this, I forgot to do the valve flash, but that only takes me about 15 minutes to do. Probably take care of that tomorrow. But yes, the all-wheel drive CRX is going to go when it is ready to go. The J front, everything, all that's coming off. I'm replacing it, repainting everything, and making this thing ready to turnkey and rock and roll for the next owner. So I'm almost certain that I want to waffle this car off. We're not set in stone yet, but I'm almost certain that is what I want to do with that car. And literally, this is the start of the teardown of that car. I'm doing things in order. This is the first step, getting this thing ready to rock and roll. So there is going to be another small build series coming here on the channel with that car. I'm literally redoing the entire all-wheel drive system in it, and putting equal length axles in this time around instead of the offsetted axles, which, you know, led me to all of the axle issues with the wagon stuff. We got Freelander, CRV axles, we got all that stuff we got from the junkyard. I don't know if I shared that, but we already got some stuff put away in the storage. It is staying all-wheel drive when it goes, so I don't want to go into full details with the car. You guys will see it as it comes here on the channel. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. I got to take off right now with my mom. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stick around and see what all we do with the all-wheel drive car, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you guys want to stick around and see what all we do with the all-wheel drive CRX, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.